over 60 and still depending on walking as your main exercise, what if I told you that there are 5 simple movements that can rebuild your strength, restore your balance, energize your muscles, and help you feel 10 or even 20 years younger? Exercises that surgeons and spine specialists say are actually better than walking for protecting your joints, improving posture, and preventing age-related decline. Stay with me because today I'm going to show you the exact 5 exercises that people over 60 should be doing every single week. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why your body might be screaming for something more than just walking. And don't worry, these movements are gentle, safe, low impact, and senior friendly. If you can walk, you can do these. If you haven't exercised in years, you can still do these. And if you're already active, these will take your health to the next level. Now, before we jump in, let me speak to the person watching who feels stiff in the morning, who feels their knees cracking, who notices that getting up from a chair isn't as easy as it used to be, who finds that walking long distances leaves them sore instead of refreshed. That's not aging, that's muscle loss, that's imbalances, that's joints begging for support. Walking is wonderful, don't get me wrong. It's great for your heart, your mood, and your circulation. But walking doesn't target the muscles that you lose fastest after 60. It doesn't strengthen your spine. It doesn't stabilize your hips. And it doesn't rebuild the deep core muscles that prevent back pain, falls, and fatigue. Surgeons are seeing this all the time. Patients who walk every day, sometimes for miles, but still have weak glutes, tight hips, poor posture, and unstable knees. And that's because walking is movement, but it's not full body strengthening. And strengthening is what your body desperately needs if you want to stay capable, mobile, and pain-free well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. So today, I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up without stiffness. Imagine feeling strong when you climb stairs. Imagine being able to bend, twist, lift, and move with confidence without worrying about falling, without feeling slow or fragile, without feeling like age is catching up to you. Imagine going for a walk and actually enjoying it because your knees, hips, and back feel supported instead of strained. That is exactly what these 5 exercises can do for you. And when you hear the reasoning behind each one, you're going to understand why surgeons, physical therapists, spine specialists, and longevity experts recommend them so highly for people over 60. Let's start with the first movement, which is all about waking up the muscles that protect your spine. When you move through your day, getting in and out of bed, reaching for things, carrying groceries, your spine is the foundation of every single motion. But after 60, the deep core muscles that stabilize that foundation weaken. And once they weaken, the entire lower back becomes vulnerable. That's when you start feeling tension. That's when simple movements become uncomfortable. And that's when walking alone is not enough. You need a movement that pulls your posture back into alignment, activates the deep muscles around your abdomen, and teaches your body how to move as one connected system rather than collapsing into the lower back. When you start doing this regularly, something amazing happens. Your back starts to feel lighter, movements become smoother, and everyday tasks feel effortless again. This single exercise can literally change how your entire body feels throughout the day. Now, the second movement is all about your hips. If you're over 60, chances are your hips are tighter than you realize. Tight hips risk your stride when you walk. They pull on the lower back. They strain your knees, and they even affect your balance. And here's the thing, most people don't discover how tight their hips are until they do a movement that opens them. You might suddenly feel a stretch you haven't felt in years. But the incredible part is that the moment your hips open back up, your entire walking pattern changes. Your joints start moving more freely, your legs feel lighter, your steps feel smoother. Surgeons often say this mobility in your hips equals longevity in your legs. When your hips stay flexible and strong, the rest of your body stays protected. But walking doesn't open the hips. It actually keeps them in the same limited range of motion. That's why this second exercise is often considered more valuable than miles of walking. It restores natural mobility. It brings back fluidity and it keeps your lower body young. The third exercise is focused on one of the most important muscle groups in your entire body, your glutes. These muscles control your balance, protect your lower back, and determine how stable you feel when you move. But here's the problem, the glutes are the first muscles to weaken with age, especially if you sit often. And when the glutes weaken, other muscles take over, your hamstrings, your lower back, your knees. That creates pain, instability, and faster aging of the joints. But when you activate and strengthen your glutes, everything changes. Your posture improves instantly. Your walk becomes more powerful. Your knees become more supported. You feel lighter and more upright. And the best part, you don't need weights. You don't need gym equipment. A simple body weight movement can reignite glute strength in just a few weeks. Surgeons love this exercise because strong glutes reduce the load on your spine during everyday activities. It's like adding natural shock absorbers to your body. Now, the fourth exercise is one many people overlook, but it's actually one of the most powerful movements you can do for longevity. It strengthens your upper back. opens your chest, and corrects the forward leaning posture that becomes more common after 60. Think about this every time you look down at your phone, every time you sit at a table, every time you round your shoulders while walking, you are training your body into a hunch position. And once that posture becomes your baseline, everything gets harder. Breathing becomes shallow. Balance becomes unstable. The spine becomes strained and your energy drops. But when you restore upper back strength, you reverse years of tightness and compression. Your chest opens. Your breathing improves. Your shoulders pull back into proper alignment. And you instantly look taller, more confident, and more youthful. This exercise isn't just about strength, it's about rewiring your posture. And posture is one of the most accurate indicators of biological age. And that brings us to the fifth movement, the one that ties everything together and is often considered more beneficial than walking alone. This movement improves balance, coordination, reaction speed, and stability, all the things that protect you from falls. And after 60, fall prevention is one of the most important aspects of staying healthy and independent. Most people think balance is controlled by the legs, but balance actually comes from the combination of your vision, your inner ear, your brain, and the tiny stabilizer muscles in your feet and ankles. And here's where it gets interesting. Walking does not challenge your balance system enough to strengthen it. You need a specific movement that improves control over your center of gravity. When you start practicing this regularly, your confidence grows, you feel steadier on uneven ground, you walk with more awareness, and your entire nervous system becomes more responsive. Surgeons emphasize this because the number one risk factor for injuries after 60 is poor balance, not weakness, not stiffness, but balance. A single exercise that strengthens your stabilizer muscles and sharpens your brain, body coordination is one of the most important things you can do for long-term independence. Now, as we go deeper into these movements, I want you to start thinking about how your body feels right now. Do your knees feel supported when you stand up? Do your hips feel loose when you walk? Does your lower back stay comfortable throughout the day? Or do you feel your muscles working harder than they should just to keep you upright? Your body is communicating with you constantly. And one of the biggest messages it gives is when something feels off, when movement feels harder than it used to, when small tasks feel taxing, when you feel tired more quickly than before. But the beautiful part is that your body is incredibly adaptable. Even at 60, 70, 80 or beyond, you can still rebuild strength, you can still increase flexibility, you can still restore balance, and you can absolutely improve your mobility. These exercises aren't about becoming an athlete. They're about reclaiming the natural movement your body was designed for. Movement you might not even realize you've lost. Movement that can add years to your active life. I want you to think of an older adult you know who moves well for their age, someone in their 70s who still walks confidently, who gets up from a chair with ease, who carries groceries without hesitation, who stands tall instead of slouching. That person isn't lucky. They aren't aging slower because of good genetics. They're aging well because their muscles, joints, and nervous system are being used the way they were designed to be used. And the beautiful part is that you can restart that process anytime. Even a few minutes a day of targeted movement can reverse years of slow, silent decline. You have more control over your aging process than you realize. Now you might be wondering, how often should you do these exercises? How long should each session be? And the truth is, you don't need hours. You don't even need 30 minutes at a time. Just a few minutes daily or every other day can lead to noticeable improvements. Strength training for seniors doesn't require weights, machines, or intense workouts. It just requires consistency. These movements work because they target the areas that age the fastest: your core, your hips, your glutes, your spine, and your balance system. When these areas get stronger, your entire body functions better. You'll notice it when you walk, when you bend, when you climb stairs, when you get out of a car, when you turn your head, when you carry something, and even when you breathe. What I want you to understand is that walking alone doesn't challenge these areas enough. It's a great addition to your lifestyle, but it can't be your only form of exercise if you want to age well. Your body needs strength, your joints need support, your spine needs stability, and your balance system needs training. These 5 exercises give you exactly that. They fill in the gaps that walking leaves behind. Now imagine a version of yourself 12 weeks from now. Imagine standing taller, feeling stronger, moving with ease, waking up with less stiffness and walking without discomfort. Imagine not worrying about your knees, not fearing a fall, not feeling unsteady when you reach your turn. Imagine doing everyday tasks with confidence, lifting a bag of groceries, stepping onto a bus, bending to pick something up without hesitation. That future is not far away. It starts with these simple movements. Your body is ready to change. It wants to get stronger. It wants to feel supported. It wants to move freely again. And when you start giving it the right kind of exercise that strengthens the core, activates the glutes, opens the hips, improves posture, and restores balance, your entire life becomes easier. That's why surgeons recommend these movements. That's why physical therapists teach them. That's why longevity experts focus on them, because they work, and they work fast. So stay with me as we go deeper into each one, because the difference these exercises can make is bigger than most people realize. And once you feel the results for yourself, you understand why these 5 movements are not just better than walking. They are essential for anyone over 60 who wants to stay strong, mobile, and independent for as long as possible. And that brings us right into something most people overlook, yet it has the power to change how your entire body feels day to day. And that's the way simple at-home exercises can rebuild stability, control, and confidence faster than long walks ever could. When we talk about exercises you can do at home, most people imagine something small, something easy, something that couldn't possibly make a big difference. But that's exactly the misconception that keeps so many people stuck in stiffness, imbalance, fatigue, and loss of mobility for years. The truth is the human body responds incredibly well to targeted movement, even if it's done in tiny doses, even if it's done in a living room or bedroom without equipment, and even if you haven't exercised in decades. What matters is not the complexity of the exercise, but the quality of the engagement, waking up muscles that have been sleeping, reminding your joints how to move with precision, and retraining your brain to recognize balance, alignment, and stability again. That is something walking simply cannot do on its own, because walking is repetitive, predictable, and doesn't challenge the deeper systems that start to weaken rapidly once you enter your 60s. You'd be amazed at how the body changes when you start practicing controlled, intentional movements in small spaces. Even 1 or 2 exercises done consistently can begin to strengthen the tiny stabilizer muscles around your ankles, your knees, your hips, and your spine. These stabilizers are like the body's steering system. They keep you upright when you shift your weight. They keep you steady when you turn your head. They protect your joints when you step in a slightly uneven area. They respond in milliseconds when you stumble. But here's the important part. Stabilizer muscles don't get stronger from walking in straight lines. They get stronger from controlled movement, from balance challenges, from slow shifts in weight, and from exercises that teach the body how to hold itself correctly. At-home exercises are perfect for this because they remove the pressure, the intimidation, the fear of embarrassment, and the self-consciousness sometimes comes with going to a gym. You can move at your own pace, you can focus on technique, you can breathe deeper, you can listen to your body instead of rushing. And when your body feels safe, it learns faster, adapts quicker, and strengthens more efficiently. People often assume that more walking equals better health, but the body doesn't improve from repetition alone. It improves when it's challenged in a controlled, supportive environment. That's why someone can walk for years, even walk several miles a day, and still feel unstable, still lose their balance easily, still have stiff hips, or still struggle with climbing stairs. Walking strengthens your endurance, yes, but does not fix muscle imbalances. It does not retrain your posture. It does not rebuild knee support. It does not wake up dormant glute muscles. And it certainly does not retrain your brain's balance system. That's where the magic of at-home exercises comes in. These movements force your muscles to activate in ways that walking never will. They improve the connection between your brain and your body. They teach your joints how to move with intention rather than habit. And they help you rediscover control over your body in a way that feels empowering, especially if you've been feeling limited or unsure of your physical abilities. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and instead of just going for a walk, you spend 2 minutes doing a simple balance hold while the kettle boils. You lift one leg slightly off the ground and your foot and ankle start firing to keep you steady. Your hip engages to hold your torso upright. Your core tightens to stabilize your spine. Your brain starts processing micro adjustments at lightning speed. That's not happening when you walk. Imagine doing a slow controlled sit to stand from a chair a few times before you head out for your day. Suddenly, your glutes fire, your thighs activate, your spine lines up, your knees get stronger. That's not happening when you walk. Imagine doing gentle step backs or heel to toe walking in your hallway. Your balance improves. Your coordination improves. Your nervous system sharpens. That's not happening when you walk. What these small movements do is remarkable. They retrain your body in the exact ways aging tries to weaken it. They restore the tiny details of movement that keep you independent. And they do it faster than you'd expect. People often confuse motion with improvement. Just because you're moving doesn't mean you're getting stronger. And after 60, walking becomes so familiar to the brain that it barely counts as a challenge anymore. The body does it automatically without engaging all the systems that protect you. That's why so many seniors who walk regularly still struggle with balance. Their bodies aren't being pushed to adapt. But when you introduce simple at-home exercises, Even tiny ones, your balance system wakes back up, your reaction speed improves, your muscles start learning again, your joints start aligning again. The body loves variety, it loves new challenges, it loves movements that activate overlooked muscles. And the more you challenge your body in a safe, gentle way, the more mobility and stability you regain. Think about how empowering it would feel to suddenly notice your legs becoming steadier, your steps becoming more controlled, your posture becoming taller. Not because you're doing something extreme, but because you're doing something intentional. That's the difference between walking and targeted exercise. Walking keeps you moving. Targeted exercise improves the way you move. And improving the way you move is the real key to aging well. That's the key to protecting your joints. That's the key to preventing falls. That's the key to staying independent. That's the key to feeling confident in your body again. You don't need complicated routines. You don't need equipment. You don't need to be flexible or athletic. You just need small movements done consistently. Movements that strengthen your foundation. When you practice these movements at home, you also remove distractions. You can focus solely on your body. You can feel where you're tight. You can feel where you're weak. You can feel which muscles are working and which ones aren't. That level of awareness is transformative. Once you start feeling your body again, you start correcting yourself naturally throughout the day. You stand taller without thinking about it. You walk with more intention. You catch yourself when you're about to lose balance. You lift objects with better form. You turn your head without straining your neck. Your brain begins to map your body more clearly. And that's one of the biggest benefits of at-home exercises. They rebuild your mind-body connection, something that weakens with age, but is completely trainable. Most people don't realize how much control they've lost over their movements until they try a simple balance exercise and feel wobbly. But that wobbling isn't weakness. It's your brain relearning, reconnecting, strengthening. And the more you do it, the steadier you get. The changes happen fast because stabilizer muscles respond quickly to training. Unlike large muscles which take longer to grow, stabilizer muscles can improve within days. That's why many seniors report feeling more balanced after just a week of simple home exercises. It's not about building big muscles. It's about rebuilding control. And control is what keeps you safe. Another powerful thing about at-home exercises is that they remove the barrier of, I don't have time. You can do them during TV commercials. You can do them while waiting for food to heat. You can do them before bed. You can do them in the morning. There's no travel, no warm-up needed, no setup, no excuse. And that consistency is what accelerates your progress. Walking requires time. Sometimes weather gets in the way. Some days you don't feel like going out. Some days your joints hurt too much. But at-home exercises, you can do them anytime. They're gentle enough for rest days, yet powerful enough to strengthen your entire foundation. Think about how much your life would change if you felt steadier on your feet. If you could move around your home without grabbing walls. If you could walk outside without worrying about your balance. If you could climb stairs without hesitation. If you could stand from a chair without using your hands. If you could feel in control of your body again. These changes don't come from walking more. They come from practicing stability movements that strengthen your entire system from the inside out. And there's something beautiful about exercising at home. You're not comparing yourself to anyone. You're not hurrying, you're not feeling judged, you're not trying to keep up with anyone else. You're simply reconnecting with your body in a quiet, personal way. This creates confidence. This builds a sense of mastery, and that confidence affects everything, from your mood to your energy to how you carry yourself when you walk. When you feel in control of your movements, you walk differently, more upright, more balanced, more coordinated. That's why even short at-home routines can dramatically improve how you walk outside. They enhance the muscles and systems that walking relies on. Over time, these simple movements create a stronger frame for your body. They align your joints, they strengthen your hips,